हेलो फ्रेंड्स, वेलकम टू वाव आईएएस। वेलकम टू द डेली एमसीक्यू डिस्कशन। आज है 5 जून 2021 और अब हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं आज के 5 करंट अफेयर बेस्ड एमसीक्यूज। बट बिफोर वी बिगिन, लेट अस डिस्कस द क्वेश्चन दैट वाज आस्क्ड यस्टरडे। कल का क्वेश्चन था, महापरिनिर्वाण दिवस इज द डेथ एनिवर्सरी ऑफ विच इंडियन लीडर? So this Mahaparinirvan Divas, actually it is celebrated on December 6th every year. It is celebrated on the death anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. ठीक है? So this is what is about the Mahaparinirvan Divas. So if you see this Mahaparinirvan Divas, it is actually related to Buddhism. It is actually related to Buddhism, and why Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is associated with this term is that because he is actually seen as a Buddhist guru because of the works he has done and because of the main work which he has done in the upliftment of the Dalits. तो इसीलिए he is actually compared to a Buddhist guru. तो इसीलिए this Mahaparinirvan Divas is the term given to his death anniversary. So now what does this Mahaparinirvan Divas actually mean? So this Mahaparinirvan Divas, actually, if you see, this is derived from a Buddhist word nirvana. So this nirvana, if you see, in Buddhism, according to Buddhism, so this parinirvana is something what a Buddhist monk achieve after his death. That means he achieves salvation. That means this Buddhist monk's body, it will go to a state of bliss after the death. इसको बोलते हैं निर्वाणा. ठीक है? So this is what is all about the Mahaparinirvana. Now let us start with today's question. But before that, one thing, guys, if you want these questions and the solutions in the PDF format, do check out our Telegram channel where we have given all the information. Okay, now let us start with today's question. The first question: consider the following statements with respect to Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. First one: it's an integral part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve of Kerala. Second one: Kabini, a tributary of Godavari, flows through the sanctuary. Here we have to choose the correct answer. A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D neither 1 nor 2. So if you see the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, okay, it is located in Kerala. This is right. It is an integral part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Okay, this is the right statement. And the second statement, if you see, Kabini, a tributary of Godavari river, flows through the sanctuary. So if you don't know anything about Kabini, just keep it aside and see this river. So it is given Godavari river. So Godavari river basically does not flow through Kerala. Okay, it flows through Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh. So this Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, actually. Okay, so this statement, if you see, a tributary of Godavari river flows through the sanctuary. So no tributary of Godavari river flow through the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, actually. Okay, so the second statement is a wrong statement. So A 1 only is the correct answer. Okay, now we will see some more information about this Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. ठीक है? So if you see this Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, it is part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, as we have discussed already, which was established in 1973. So this Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary was established in 1973, and this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, if you see, there are 4 wildlife sanctuaries that are part of this Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. They are the Madumalai, Bandipur National Park, Nagarhole National Park, and Mukurti National Park, and Silent Valley National Park. So these are the other wildlife parks that are involved with the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. That means all these combinedly called as the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so this Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary is a contiguous to the Tiger Reserve of Nagarhole and Bandipur of Karnataka and Madumalai of Tamil Nadu. So Kabini river, basically it's a tributary of Kaveri river and not the Godavari river. So this Kabini actually flows through the Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary, but it's a tributary of Kaveri and not Godavari. Okay, so that's the thing about this Wayanad Wildlife Sanctuary. Now let's move on to the next question. Next question is about the CVC. Consider the following statements with respect to the Chief Vigilance Commission, CVC. First one: the CVC was set up on the recommendation of the Committee on Prevention of Corruption headed by K. Santhanam. Second one: the CVC is controlled by the Ministry of Home Affairs. And the third one: CVC has its own investigation wing. Here we have to choose the correct answer, right? A 1 only, B 2 and 3 only, C 1, 2 and 3, and D 1 and 3 only. So we have to choose the correct answer. And for this, if you see, first statement, CVC was set up on the recommendation of the Santhanam Committee. This is absolutely right statement. ठीक है? as most of you might know this already. Second statement, if you see, CVC is controlled by the Ministry of Home Affairs. This is a wrong statement because the CVC is an independent body. It's an independent body and it is not controlled by any other ministry. Okay, it actually directly reports to the parliament only. It submits a yearly report to the president. Okay, so the second statement is wrong. And third statement, if you see, CVC has its own investigation wing. This is also another wrong statement because the CVC actually depends on other police organizations for its investigation. It does not have an own investigation wing. So the third statement is also wrong. So A1 only is the correct answer. Okay, now let us see some more information. Actually, why this was in news is the Chief Vigilance Commission CVC recently has laid down a defined procedure which is to be followed by the government organizations for getting vigilance clearance before employing a retired official on a contractual or consultation basis. So इसीलिए this was in news. So the CVC, if you see, it was set up in 1964. It was set up as a body on the recommendation of the Prevention of Corruption Act Committee headed by K. Santanam. Okay? So it was initially established as a mere independent body without any statutory backing, but it was given a statutory backing by an act of parliament called the Central Vigilance Commission Act of 2003. Okay, then it was given a statutory status. It is an independent body which is responsible to the parliament, as I told already, and it submits yearly report to the president. Remember this. And it does not have any investigation wing and depends on CBI and the chief vigilance officers of the central organizations. Okay? So the CVC basically, if you see, it's a multi-member commission consisting of chief vigilance commissioner who is the chairperson and not more than 2 vigilance commissioner. Okay? So the CVC is not controlled by any ministry, which we have seen already. Now let us move on to the next question. The experimental advanced superconducting tokamak reactor East reactor, sometimes known as, so belongs to which country? It's a device from which country? A. South Korea, B. China, C. Australia, and D. Iran. We have to choose the correct answer, and the correct answer is B. China. So this East, the experimental advanced superconducting tokamak, also known as the tokamak reactor, is a famous reactor of China. So recently, why it was in news is the Chinese claimed that this reactor, it mixed the energy process generation of the sun and has set a new record when it ran at 216 million degree Fahrenheit, that is approximately 120 million degrees for 101 seconds. So that's why this was the news. In 2020, South Korea's Kestar reactor, it has set a record by maintaining a plasma temperature of over 100 million degrees centigrade for 20 seconds. So this temperature of China, actually it's a huge, you can say that it's a huge plus over the South Korean reactor. This East reactor is an advanced nuclear fusion experiment device which is there in China. Actually, this became operational in 2006 and now it is part of the ITER experiment which is being conducted by on the collaboration of many countries, and these countries include China, European Union, India, Japan, South Korea, Russia, and US. Okay, this ITER experiment is being conducted in France, and it is expected that this fusion reactor, basically it will become operational by 2035, and India is supplying a key component which is a fridge. You can say the cooling unit for this experiment is being supplied by India, right? So this is about this East reactor. Now let's move on to the next question. Fourth question, consider the following statements. First one, nitrogen, a vital micronutrient for all plants, is the most abundant element in the atmosphere. Second one, atmospheric nitrogen is unreactive and cannot be utilized by plants directly. So we have to choose the correct answer. A 1 only, B 2 only, C both 1 and 2, and D neither 1 nor 2. So the correct answer is, if you see first statement, so it is given that nitrogen is a vital micronutrient. This is the wrong statement because nitrogen is a macronutrient and not micronutrient. It's a macronutrient for all plants and is the most abundant atmosphere. This is the right one, but this micronutrient is the wrong one. So this first statement is wrong. But if you see the second statement, atmospheric nitrogen is unreactive and cannot be utilized by plants directly. This is the right statement because the plants generally will not be able to use the nitrogen by itself. They will actually need another type of bacteria, okay, the nitrogen fixation bacteria, for the nitrogen fixation process. So the first statement is wrong, second statement is right. So B2 only is the correct answer. Actually, why this nitrogen was in news is the 8th International Nitrogen Initiative Conference, the INI 2020, was scheduled to convene in Berlin, which is in Germany, from 3 to 7 of May 2020, but due to pandemic last year it was cancelled, and now it will be held virtually in 2021. So that's why this was in news. So nitrogen basically is a vital macronutrient for the plants. It's not micro, it's a macronutrient, and is the most abundant element in the atmosphere, as the atmosphere consists of about 78% of nitrogen. Okay, so but this nitrogen which is there in the atmosphere, it is not reactive and cannot be used by the plants directly. It is these nitrogen fixation bacteria like the rhizobium, they will live symbiotically with the leguminous plants, and they provide nitrogen to the plants and the soil in the form of a reactive compound like ammonia and nitrate. So these nitrogen fixation bacteria, what they will do is they will be living along with some leguminous plants in the soil, and they react with the atmospheric nitrogen. Okay, they basically take in this atmospheric nitrogen, and they will convert this atmospheric nitrogen into ammonia or nitrate and will give it to the soil. Okay, this is what is the concept behind it. Now let's see the last question of the day. So this question is a matching. So the sacred groves and what it is called in the state. The Koilkadu, it is called, the sacred groves are known as Koilkadu in Tamil Nadu. It is known as Orans in Rajasthan, and Pavitrana in Andhra Pradesh. So this is match the following. So we have to choose which pairs are correctly matched. A1 and 2, B2 and 3, C3 only, and D1, 2 and 3. So as you might have known, the sacred groves, they are basically the trees which are, these trees basically they are worshipped by the people. So they are very important for the ecological conservation. So if you see this match the following, all the three are right. D1 to 3 is the correct answer. All the three are right. In Tamil Nadu, the sacred groves are called Koilkadu. In Rajasthan, they are known as Orans. And in Andhra Pradesh, they are known as Pavitravana. Okay? Now, we will see some more details about this. So, recently, in a bid to conserve the green patches of the land, that is the sacred groves in Pondicherry, a non-profit organization, Indigenous Biodiversity Foundation, they have come up for the restoration of the sacred groves, and their initiative is called Uyir Mochu. So that's why it was in news. Actually, locally in Tamil Nadu, as I told already, they are called Kovil Kadul. Okay, Kovil Kadugal. And in Andhra Pradesh, they are called Pavitravana. In Arunachal Pradesh, they are called Gumpa Forest. In Goa, they are called Diorai. In Jharkhand, they are called Serana. In Karnataka, they are called Devarkadu. In Kerala, they are called Kavu. In Maharashtra, they are known as Devrai. In Manipur, they are called Gampak, etc. Okay, so we have given some more sacred groves and what it is called in their state in our PDF. You can just go through that and can memorize these things. Okay. So now let's see the question of the day. The question of the day is, which fundamental right was described by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar as the heart and soul of the Constitution? So you have to tell which fundamental right. You have to mention the article, okay, and mention you do comment the answer in the comment box. Tomorrow before the start of discussion, we will discuss this answer. Okay. So that's it, friends, for the day. Before leaving, I would just like to inform you about the initiatives VAVA IAS has launched. So we have launched the Vision Prelims Test Series Summary, Vision PT 365 Summary, Vision Mains Test Series Summary, and Vision Monthly Magazine Summaries. Okay, these summaries are available in our Telegram channel. If you go to the Telegram channel, you can find the details about these summaries. Okay, so that's it for the day. I'll see you again tomorrow with some more detail, some more questions. Tomorrow is Sunday, so we'll meet on Monday with 5 more questions. Till then, keep studying and stay tuned to VAVA IAS. Jai Hind.